Today we're checking out the Vizio P-Series televisions. This is their 4K lineup, and when they were announced, they made a big splash. Why? Because they're so inexpensive for 4K televisions. This 65-inch model behind me goes for about $1,800. That is a lot of bang for your buck, or is it? Here's the good news. The Vizio P-Series is capable of some really good picture quality. The bad news is you're going to have to work for it. As soon as you get this TV out of the box, I recommend going into the picture settings and doing some pretty major adjustments. You can start with the calibrated or calibrated dark preset depending on what your room is like and what kind of picture quality you want. I recommend first going to sharpness. Drop that from 45 all the way down to 0. If you don't do this, the TV's going to introduce a bunch of artifacts. It looks like a grainy picture when you shouldn't have one. Next, go into the more picture section and make sure that your active LED zones are on. That's going to give you local dimming and you will get better blacks for it. I recommend turning off the smooth motion effect. You'll also want to turn off clear action. If you don't, it's going to dim the picture. Everything else you can leave the same, but if you want the best possible picture quality, I'm going to recommend you look up some color calibration settings online and put those in. If you don't, what you're going to find out is this TV tends towards really hot reds. It makes for unnatural skin tones, and you're not going to be able to fix that with just the basic color and tint settings. Once you've dealt with all those settings, the 4K picture quality is actually really good with this TV. I think that the local dimming does show itself occasionally when you've got a bright object on a dark screen. You can see some banding, but for most of the content you watch, it's really not noticeable. You can play Netflix in 4K, Amazon in 4K, and any other 4K sources that you might manage to come up with. There's a lot to like about this TV. I like its smart TV interface. It moves pretty quickly. You've got an option to have a band of apps at the bottom of the TV, or you can click the Vizio button and you get a more elaborate menu to access all of your smart TV apps. There's plenty of connections on this thing. You've got 5 total 4K capable HDMI inputs on the TV. That's a best-in-class feature right there. I think the TV's got a nice aesthetic. The stand doesn't call a lot of attention to itself. It's got a fairly narrow bezel. It's a little thicker than some of the ultra slim TVs you see out there, but that's because of the full array of locally dimmed backlights, and really that's what's giving this TV its good black levels and good contrast capabilities. So yeah, at the end of the day, the TV's got some issues. You've got to really work to get the best possible picture quality, but I can't think of another TV that gives you this much at such a low price. Vizio has always been a sort of value leader, and they maintain that here with this TV. Bear in mind though that the next generation of 4K TVs are going to have high dynamic range capabilities and a wider color gamut, essentially supplanting this TV. So if you need to get into 4K right now, this is a great way to go. But if you're looking for the latest and greatest tech, I'd hold off.